In Smash 4, footstools can be used to create guaranteed combos that can 0 to death the opponent or inflict over 100% damage. Falcon has some easy and reliable ways to set these up, and this guide will tell you all about them. The first thing we need to make clear is that a footstool tumble onto the ground cannot be tech, so your opponent will be forced to hit the ground normally. Secondly, if you hit someone with a move such as Falcon's down air or forward tilt during their landing, they will be put into a state known as a jab lock, which forces their character into an automatic normal get up from the ground almost instantly, allowing you to hit them with another attack if you time it right. The ideal way to do this, in this case with neutral air, is to short hop, then use your neutral air and immediately fast fall to hit with the first hit right before you land. After this, short hop and use your mid-air jump when you're near your opponent's head to footstool them. When you're at the height of your jump, use your down air and instantly fast fall to hit your opponent on the ground as fast as possible. You have time to follow up with up to 2 more forward tilts, which also work for jab locking, although more than one is difficult and often impossible to connect. Finally, get ready to time your follow-up to hit them right before they return to their normal standing position. If you connect with your follow-up too early after the jab lock is over, they will have invincibility, and if you connect too late, they can act again and shield the hit. Also, if you connect with your down air too late, jab lock will not happen and your opponent can get up from the ground normally any way they choose. Falcon's most reliable and versatile move for setting up footstools is the first hit of neutral air, because it has set knockback, meaning that it has the same amount of knockback on a given character at any percentage. The amount of knockback that it will have on each character depends on their weight though, and since knockback is directly related to hit stun, this means that lighter characters will be unable to act for a longer time after the hit, as you can see here, making the guaranteed footstool easier on them after the neutral air. You have very limited time to footstool your opponent after the hit though, so this means that it's only guaranteed on lightweights, if you do it normally. If you frame cancel the neutral air, you will also be able to do it on most heavyweights while they're still in hit stun. Frame cancelling means hitting with an aerial 1 frame before you land. Check out my previous guide where I covered it if you haven't already. Another factor that affects how fast you can footstool your opponent after the hit is their fall speed. For example, it takes Falcon 4 frames to reach and footstool Yoshi, while it only takes him 2 frames to footstool another Falcon because of the difference in their fall speeds, making the footstool quicker to connect on fast fallers. However, even with frame cancel, characters with very fast fall speeds will hit the ground so early that you won't have enough time to jab lock them with Falcon's down air after their landing. For example, Diddy and Sheik are currently tied for 8th fastest fall speed in the game, and while this just barely works on Diddy, it doesn't work on Sheik because she lands faster, presumably due to her larger size. It also doesn't work on anyone above their fall speed, but it works on every character below them, with the exceptions being extreme heavyweights who hit the ground almost instantly only because of their size, as well as Samus who's too heavy and too floaty to be footstooled fast enough before her hit stun is over. I'll have a full list of characters who this doesn't work on, along with some more detailed information in the description. Also, even though the first hit of neutral air can set up into footstool at any percent, jab lock with down air stops working at around 32% for an average character, while forward tilt stops working at around 28%. The weak hit of knee can also create a jab lock, and so can the weak hit of back air. Although these are generally worse options because they're harder to connect, they do less damage and they stop jab locking at around the same percent or slightly before. Falcon's other reliable setup into footstools is his up air, which works on most characters from around 10% to 60% even if your opponent DIs up or away from you, and even though down air stops jab locking at higher percents, a down air meteor cannot be teched after hitting the ground from a footstool, so this will still lead to guaranteed follow-up such as the knee. If you do this normally though, this doesn't work on fast fallers like Fox at the percent where down air can create a jab lock because they hit the ground before you can footstool them, or they land from the footstool too early for you to connect with the down air in time. However, again, with frame cancel this works on almost every character with the exception of Fox and Greninja because of their very high fall speeds, presumably combined with their shape and size. It does work just barely on Dedede though, whose fall speed is between the two. Also, by using frame cancel on other characters, up air to footstool works at a slightly wider range of percents. Next we have Falcon's custom downbeat, the Lightning Falcon Kick, which guarantees a footstool on any character at any percentage. This move is slow and unsafe to throw out though, so it's not ideal for trying to set up footstools. I mentioned in my previous guide that this move results in an infinite that works on every character, and while it is related to footstools, I will dedicate a full guide to that next time. Falcon's down throw and forward throw can also lead into a footstool, but in both cases any character can avoid it at any percent, so it's better to go for guaranteed damage with Falcon's aerials instead. Much like footstool, sliding off of a platform onto the ground cannot be teched either, creating setups equivalent to footstool ones. Falcon's moves that can send the opponent into a slide like this are the weak hit of back air, forward tilt, and the weak hit of knee. The strong hit of back air also works on most characters, but only at 0%, although heavies can go a few percents further. The second hit of down smash works similarly, although it's highly unpractical because of how slow the move comes out. Yet this is one of the few smashes in the game that's safe on shield, which is worth acknowledging in some other scenarios. On the other hand, the weak hit of back air stops working at 16% on an average character, while forward tilt stops working at 33%, and the weak hit of knee stops working at 35%. Anyway, that's all for these setups. These allow Falcon to greatly extend his mix of options and combos as well as net some early kills, even creating some true zero to death combos. Frame cancelling neutral air and up air into Footstool fast enough that your opponent can't do anything in between may be a bit difficult, but the timing can be learned. The setups are also quick and fairly safe to throw out, so they have a lot of realistic potential for competitive use. Contrary to popular opinion, Falcon has some serious depth as a character. The tech that he has just needs more acknowledgement and implementation, as the exploration has already been done. Anyway, that's all for this guide. Thanks for watching, and later.